Okay, let's get started. So, Mr. Kubica, you have 2 minutes for an opening statement.
Okay, my name is Andy Kubica, and I'm a proud resident of Pacific Grove. I lived here in Pacific Grove for over 10 years. I've been semi-retired for almost 2 years after a long career in the aerospace industry. I am married, I have 2 grown children, and 3 beautiful grandchildren. I attend the City Council meetings on a regular basis in order to learn more about the local government process as it applies to this special community. I have attended Chamber of Commerce meetings, business development meetings, economic development meetings, and I am a current member of the Traffic Commission. I grew up in a small town, but lived in a much larger city due to where my work was located. Now that I get to choose where I live, I've returned to this small town, a peaceful environment where we can walk our German Shepherd, enjoy the lovely beaches, the canopied streets, parks such as Washington Park, and a vibrant downtown. I'm currently on the Pacific Grove Traffic Commission. I'm a member of the Pacific Grove Community Emergency Response Team, the search team. I volunteered at the 4th of July picnic and the Memorial Day barbecues. Now I want to do more. I wish to preserve the uniqueness and natural beauty of Pacific Grove, the last hometown, while solving the city's problems while maintaining a balanced budget as your newest city council member. I come from an engineering background where I need to work with others and consider their positions. I have dealt with data analysis and data-driven decision-making. I perform risk management in which the cause and effects are evaluated as well as the unintended consequences are considered. I perform scheduling and planning for various projects so that the project is assured of successful completion. I've developed test plans and managed daily operations. I feel all of my past experience in the business and engineering world, as well as attending city council meetings, serves me well for a position on the city council. I know the value of careful planning, analysis, and teamwork. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Kubica. Ms. McAdams.
Good evening. My name is Jenny McAdams, and I'm running for City Council. What motivated me to run is my love and passion for Pacific Grove. Over time, though, I've come to realize that there is a disconnect between the leadership on council and the working families that go to great lengths to call Pacific Grove their home, like mine. I'd like to share some of my concerns and what I'd like to bring to council when elected. It is imperative our leaders make decisions that are in the best interest of our residents and the preservation of Pacific Grove. I will make sure actions I take reflect the city charter, general plan, and municipal code. I will examine the long and short-term impacts of my decisions and look out for the best interests of safety of our neighborhoods, animal life, environment, and residents. It is time the city takes leadership with regards to short-term rental enforcement. The increase in traffic, litter, and harming of wildlife are having negative impacts to our ecosystem. This year, several of my friends have relocated to other peninsula cities because their homes have been converted to short-term rentals, and we're losing these family rentals, which is making an added squeeze to the already compromised housing inventory. As the short-term rentals currently exist, there is imbalance, and this program needs to be re-examined. The city has a spending problem. Too many of our tax dollars are going towards consultants, expensive studies, contracted services, and memberships. Financial decisions made at this time need to be frugal, and expenditures must come with the warranted need. Finally, I'm an advocate for the homeless. Inasmuch as the city has made efforts, attention needs to be paid to the homeless that do not fit the cookie-cutter criteria. These men, women, and children
Thank you,
live
Ms.
in a
McAdams. Your time is up. Mr. Huitt.
Good evening, and thank all of you for coming. I moved to Pacific Grove in 1990 with my wife, Jan Roll, and our daughter, Callie, who was 2 years old at the time. And I quickly got involved in the local community, was appointed to the Planning Commission in 1993, and I have now served on the City Council for a total of 15 years. As a council member, I've been able to work effectively with my colleagues and fellow citizens to make progress on a very wide range of projects. And I've tried hard to seek the kinds of solutions that are reasonable and that come from listening to one another and discussing issues respectfully. I'm committed to preserving our priceless environmental resources, historic treasures, and residential neighborhoods, and maintaining the municipal services that we all value, from public safety to accessible and well-kept parks and full-service library. I believe development is essential for our economic health, but it must be appropriate for our community. So I'll continue to support careful review of projects to ensure they are consistent with our zoning regulations and general plan. I think we should also continue to foster partnerships with local businesses and nonprofits to accomplish things we can't do separately. For example, by working with dedicated volunteers and private organizations, we've been able to practice good stewardship of our public treasures like the library, the museum, and the lighthouse. So I want to continue working with you as your representative, and I will appreciate your vote. Thank you.
Mr. Cohen,
Yes, my name's Alan Cohen.
you can bring the microphone over, you can just share it.
And I approve this message. As a 38-year resident of Pacific Grove, I've really come to appreciate our natural beauty, our wonderful historic past, our small town charm, and especially our spirit, the amazing voluntarism we have from our citizens. It's amazing. I have varied experiences. I'm a former councilman from 206 to 214. I was termed out. I was a board member of Monterey Salinas Transit District for 6 years. I'm the chairman of Community Human Services for the county, which is a joint powers agency made up of cities and school districts. I was born and raised in New York, by the way, so if you hear the accent, it's still with me. I served in the military from 66 to 68. I was a recipient of a Purple Heart. I've come to really enjoy giving myself to the community and improving the quality of life, especially for families that have moved here. I see a lot of carriages getting wheeled around. We have a lot of issues facing our community. To me, the main issue is our budget. Let's face it, without the resources, we're not going to be able to complete our infrastructure program, which is a very ambitious one, because it wasn't followed up over the years, so we're behind the 8 ball on that. Naturally, water's a big issue, traffic's an issue. We have the vacation rental dilemma in a way which needs to be tuned up. So I ask for your support because I want to continue giving to the community. It gives me great satisfaction knowing that I can contribute and be constructive.
Thank you, Mr. Cohen. Ms. Garfield.
Hi, my name is Cynthia Garfield, and I get asked 2 questions most while I'm campaigning. 1, how long have you lived in Pacific Grove? And 2nd, why do you want to do this? The first answer is that PG's been my home for 14 years. The second answer is connected to why I live here. I live in PG because it's a wonderful community. Whether we've been here all our lives or just a few weeks, whether we rent or own, pretty much all feels like Pacific Grove is a wonderful community. So what pulls me to run for council is to foster a flourishing Pacific Grove. What does a flourishing Pacific Grove look like? We have an environment that is treasured, that we enjoy neighborhoods that are welcoming and safe, that our roads and traffic work pretty well. Roads are well maintained, and traffic flows in an orderly and safe manner. And I want to see that the people who live here have a voice, and they have opportunities to contribute and to thrive in our community. So what can City Council do to get us there? First and foremost, we have to figure out how to increase our revenues in ways that are consistent with our goals and values. If we don't do that, we can't do the things we need to do for our community. We need to be very sensible about what we can do and how we spend the taxpayers' money. We need to listen and reach out to fully understand the issues. And we need to represent Pacific Grove not just within the city limits, but outside, regionally and at the state level, to solve water problems, financial problems, and a host of others that are yet to come. Please pick up a brochure in the back so you can learn a little bit more about me, or look me up on cynthiagarfield.net. Thank you very much.
Mr. Smith.
Gotta work this microphone a little bit here. Good evening, everybody. It's a pleasure to be here with you all. Can I kill my mic? My name is Nick Smith, and I've lived in Pacific Grove with my family for 3 years now. My wife and I are raising our 3 daughters here, and they're 6, 4, and 1, so we have a young family. We're very busy. We're running around all the time, chasing kids, and it's a lot of fun. There's no better place I'd rather do that than here. I've practiced law for over 10 years, beginning my career as a deputy district attorney, where I sought justice for crime victims and protected public safety. As a prosecutor, I learned the importance of representing people in the public setting. I learned the importance of fair and balanced decision making, and I learned the importance of and the impact that government can have on people's lives. In my current law practice, I currently work with and for local schools and local public agencies to help them resolve conflicts and disputes. I've been an effective representative for these groups. I've worked with them, and I've enjoyed that very much, keeping my public service mission alive in the private sector. And for the past 2 years, I've served on the Pacific Grove Planning Commission, where I've come into contact with a number of development issues, land use matters, and learned from the ground up how the government really operates in a municipality. And it's been a very eye-opening experience. It's been fun and challenging, but it has been excellent training for the city council position. And how we answer the challenges facing our city will determine and define our community. I believe that thorough analysis and study of the issues is the only way to effectively represent a town and district. I have discussed the future of our community with the residents, and I feel that with my experience as a volunteer, a public servant, a representative, a thinker, a father, and a husband,
Thank you,
I'll make
Mr.
a great
Smith.
council member.
Okay, we're ready for the questions. Some of them are long, and with 6 of you up here, if you come along and you say, would repeat that question, please, I will be happy to do that, and it will not come off of your tongue. All right, the first question starts with Ms. McAdams. At certain times of day, traffic gridlock in the Central Avenue Commercial District in Pacific Grove and on Lighthouse Avenue in New Monterey has become a safety concern. While the bulk of the problem is Monterey's, PG's contribution to the problem is not insignificant. What would you propose as a solution?
Well, UFOs too, no. Well, when I was growing up and when I first started driving at the age of 16, I used to be able to drive through the DLI, through Pine Street and up on High Street. And, you know, over the years, we have more and more traffic, whether it's people who are in hospitality that are coming to work, because they all work in Cannery Row or Carmel, and most of them are coming from Seaside and Marina. We also have a lot of students. I know I drive my kids to school. You know, unfortunately, our transit and our public system really needs to be revamped. But part of that is that us as a society, we need to be using that to make it a good business model for our transit. So I guess that's
it. Thank you, Ms. McAdams. Mr. Huitt.
Thank you. The problem is actually not just the Central Avenue and Lighthouse corridor. It's a combination of that and the Holman Highway corridor. One of the reasons that traffic is getting worse on the low road, as I call it, is because it's gotten so much worse on the high road and people are diverting. So the roundabout that is under construction and will be a nightmare for a while will be a wonderful help and will make traffic move much better on Holman Highway. In addition to that, it's very important, it's time for me to make a pitch for Measure X, the new Measure X, which is the transportation tax, the transportation investment tax, because there are a lot of provisions in that that are going to help us both on the Holman Highway corridor and through New Monterey and on to the Del Monte corridor. So if you have a chance,
Thank you,
read
Mr.
up
Huitt.
on Measure X.
Mr. Cohen.
I propose a helicopter show. But in reality, when the DLI closed off their access to go through, it created a traffic jam in our town. We only have 2 ways in and out, and everybody knows that. So Monterey has been struggling with the same problem for years. Matter of fact, they're waiting for the roundabout to get built so they can start coming out and see what they can do with this problem. Monterey can't even solve it. But Pacific Grove to solve it, what do we have to do? Hit Monterey on the head? You know, I don't know. Stop cars, no cars allowed in Pacific Grove? Nope, don't answer that. I know a lot of you will agree with that. So it's hard to propose a solution when Monterey, for years, has been trying to find a solution. And to do that in 1 minute, I can't give you a solution.
Ms. Garfield.
I can give a solution a shot. Bus. I was present at a presentation about using Monterey Salinas Transit. And I'll tell you, I'm going to go get my card and I'm going to get on the bus and I'm going to try it out. I think we deserve to give it a shot, to take the bus and see where you can go. Because of the Holman construction, bus passes are half price while that construction's going on. Depending on your age, that's either $6.50 or $13 a month. I think we should give it a shot. That's it.
Thank you. Mr. Smith.
I think a combination of things that were said probably makes sense to try to alleviate and try to lessen some of the traffic issues. One thing in particular that has been mentioned to me is the closure of the DLI area and possibly looking to renegotiate that and talk to the military about opening that back up again, because while I've been told that that's going to be a lift, you know, why not give it a shot? And I think that that would really help give us 2 ways out. And then also I think Highway 68 roundabout will help.
Mr. Kubica.
See, after everything that's said, there isn't much more to say.
Could you bring the mic over to you?
Thank you. See, I think things will get better after the Highway 68 roundabout. And also what I've done myself personally is in some ways I've done a flexible time. I've tried to pick the times when there aren't the particular traffic jams there. But I know that's hard to do, but sometimes it's a flexible way to do things. Thank you.
All right, our next question, the first person to answer is Mr. Huitt. What are your top 3 ideas to raise revenue?
Big bake sale. Most of my preferences for raising revenue actually are long-term, and they have to do with growing the economy rather than taxes. Although I do think in the future we need to take a look at some of the taxes that may need to be adjusted. But one of the mistakes I think we make is to look at the budget on a very short-term basis. We have been running surpluses for about 7 years, I think, and that's given us the opportunity now to take a little bit of time and try to get some economic development, appropriate economic development that is going to generate new revenue just by increasing the base of economic activity. So that is really what I think all three of them should
Thank you.
be.
Mr. Cohen.
Yes, as people know, the three big engines are property tax, DOT tax, and sales tax. We only get 16% of property taxes collected. We only get about 2% of the sales taxes collected. I believe that we have to encourage our business community and the city to promote our businesses from within. If we can increase hotel rentals during the off-season and bring the visitors in with a bigger visitor experience, if we can promote our natural resources as a town in a family-friendly way and have more people come and enjoy our area, I'm not a favorite of taxes because every few years, everybody wants more money, prices go up. So I believe we can increase our economic development from within. We've had major property sales, commercial property sales downtown. We have the Holman building going up.
Thank you,
and
Ms.
our
Garfield. If you wonder why I interrupt, if I don't, sometimes candidates just keep going and we'll run out of time. I know none of these will.
I think that there are three, at least, elements that we need to pursue. And the first one is enforcing the rules that we already have for raising taxes. That every business does, in fact, have a business license. That every short-term rental is, in fact, paying its entire share of TOT. So that's just the basics of getting what is already due. The second thing I think we should look at are taxes that reflect our goals and values. And the one that I would propose is a tax on single-use plastic bottles. It would help the visitors pay for the trash that they leave, that we haul around, that we use and have to then tote around. And it's pretty easy to do this. So that is one I would propose. I think we need to review our business tax minimum and maximum and maybe see what we can do.
Thank you. Oh, you're good. Mr. Smith.
Thank you. To start, I'd say we definitely want to support a healthy business climate. That's going to be essential to revenue coming in, having healthy businesses in town, making sure that we're giving them everything they need to succeed at the highest levels. I also support the cost recovery program. I think it's important that the city is recovering the cost that it's spending on providing the services. That's another major area where we can kick things up. And as a former prosecutor, I do understand enforcement and fees. And I think that the enforcement and fees of the laws we already have is important. I think we can step it up on short-term rentals. We can make sure that these illegal operating rentals are getting found and penalized. And in the long run, going from short run to long run, I would say downtown revitalization, overall revitalization of the community, so that that we have more businesses, we're attracting visitors and making PG a destination city.
Thank you. Mr. Kubica.
I would fast track the permitting process to encourage more business downtown so that we can get more development and we could attract more small businesses that are compatible with our values and lifestyle here at Pacific Grove.
That's your answer? Thank you. I just didn't want to cut you off. Ms. McAdams.
I think the city could be more business friendly when businesses want to open with regards to having a person that can walk them through the process and help them with getting signage. I think we have a lot of money locally that we're not utilizing. We have MIS, we have Monterey Peninsula College, we have DLI and NPS, and these are all families that are already here. So I think if we had businesses that would be attracting them, that is an instant and a fairly easy solution. Also, I think Pacific Grove needs a brand. Are we Butterfly Town? Are we the Lovers Weekend Getaway? Are we to go where you resale shop? Pacific Grove seems kind of lost, and we don't have a definitive attraction or definitive brand to market. I think at some point it wouldn't be horrible to see parking meters somewhere.
Thank you. Now, according to my notes, Mr. Huitt, you started that question, correct? Okay, that's what I thought. Good. Mr. Cohen, the next question. What do you think the city council can do to attract more businesses to come to downtown?
First, I think they have to revisit our zoning and business uses that we have. The council has done that, but I think there has to be more done on that. Second of all, I think we need an economic plan, a strategy, and an implementation of such a plan, which we do not have in this town. Not yet. Could you repeat some of that?
What do you think the city council can do to attract more businesses to come to downtown?
Smile a little more when they come before them. But really, they have to look at the businesses, business uses, see what they're doing. We have the Economic Development Commission, which I'm a commissioner on. But there isn't really a strategy and implementation plan. And we go here or we go there, but let's focus. We need some focus. And I'm hoping to be on the council and provide that.
Thank you. Ms. Garfield.
I think any solution about getting businesses here needs to involve the landlords that would be then having tenants. And so if you ask landlords why businesses aren't coming here, they can be then part of a solution. So the first step in any of these solutions is to find out exactly why don't we have businesses. I can quote you what business owners have told me, but that's anecdotal. We need to figure out by asking a broader array of people, why has business been difficult here? If somebody leaves, we need to do exit interviews to find out what happened and why they left. And we need to take it in a methodical way so we understand the nature of the problem.
Thank you. Mr. Smith.
I think this problem, like many problems facing any municipality, is all about collaboration. A collaborative effort between city officials, community leaders, community members, and city staff in coming together to try to form a solution and try to think about what types of things people want to see done, what are the things that are constraining businesses, what are the things that the members of the community actually want downtown. In an effort to revitalize the downtown, to strengthen businesses. And I'll give you an example. I recently participated in the California Association of Local Economic Development, I think that's it, CALED, interview. And I was able to give my input on where I saw things going for the business community and what things I wanted to see. And I think it's things like that that will actually get the ball rolling. And by no means do I think that's a solution. I think that's just the beginning, but that's where we need to head.
Thank you. Mr. Kubica.
I think the city council needs to encourage the economic development group to follow up on some of the ideas that they've put forth. And they also need to follow up on some of the projects that got started. I mean, we've had development over at Latitudes, and it seems to have stopped there. We have a fairly abandoned property almost across from the police station, and it would seem to be that there's some way to encourage development inside of these areas and still maintain our neighborhood values without having development in amongst the homes. Thank you.
Ms. McAdams.
As businesses, especially in Pacific Grove, have exceptional and give exceptional customer service, I think the city council and the city needs to provide customer service to the businesses who are coming in. And whether that is a business liaison or someone who can personally help the businesses, new businesses, step by step get through the process. I have heard that people, oh yes, we'd love to open a business in Pacific Grove, but Pacific Grove for some reason does have a bad reputation that we're not very friendly. Also, I think, at 6 o'clock, Lighthouse Avenue, everybody runs to Monterey. Why is that? I mean, I think that the council should look into that and see, are the businesses coming on, will they perhaps stay later? and
Thank you. Mr. Huitt.
Thank you. I think that the answer has to do with customer demand. The businesses